After spending years trying to recapture what I had felt when I awakened, years of reading tons of transformational nonfiction authors about spirit guides, about enlightenment, mindfulness, and strengthening your intuition, I started gravitating more toward content about rejection of ego and trying to live my life following my soul's purpose through what I was feeling in my heart. And reading about not only noticing the decisions through my thoughts and actions that were being based on my ego self, based on my prior experiences, and I was starting to understand the need to live and accept myself exactly as I am. Now, I've made some other videos about changing your personality, and I don't feel like this is in conflict with that, because when I talked about changing your personality, I was noticing flaws about myself that I didn't like, that I looked at more like a bad habit kind of thing. Like I said, I had been an interrupter. And I'm not just trying to change my personality and refusing to accept myself. I was realizing that I was shutting people off and not accepting their input to conversations and the truths that they had to share that were so much more relevant than what I had to share in many cases. In trying to change that personality aspect of myself by becoming more aware that I was even doing it, it opened me up to be able to show more compassion for others, to really listen to others, and to internalize and reflect on what the messages were that they were communicating to me that really built so much of a better give and take relationship with those that I cared about, because I truly saw them and now I heard them. My goal in that was to truly become a better human. It made me more aware of paying more attention to my own thoughts and words and actions before I blurted out what I felt the need I had to say. And it made so many significant shifts in my life in helping me become what I believe is my personality more in alignment with my soul. I read this quote recently by Jay Foster, which really drew me to him as an author, because I felt like his grasping journey to figure out the secret to enlightenment resonated a lot with my story. And here's the quote: "Awakening is not a goal or a destination. It is a constant invitation to embrace yourself exactly as you are and all of your glorious imperfections." Think about that. That is such a profound thought, that we learn to accept ourselves and our imperfections. And that's what makes us perfectly us. You start to recognize thoughts and actions taken by the ego mind, which is so selfish. The ego mind is always giving you advice and always telling you what to do based on what it perceives to be true, by observing whatever circumstances that it sees through the five senses and your past reactions. Like, your mind is thinking, oh no, that person's expression is making me think that they don't like me. And your mind goes off into this frenzy of crazy thoughts and what that person is thinking, what that person thinks about you, what they might do or say in relation to the thoughts that you're having based on your ego that aren't even true. That person might not be thinking about you at all, and you've created this entire story that you then internalize that is based on zero fact whatsoever. Your ego makes you think and act a certain way based on its own self-preservation and a mode of operation that's constantly judging you against other people. And once you start to think and act in accordance with your higher self, which are messages that come to you through the heart, it pushes your ego aside. And when I started really realizing this and noticing, interpreting my thoughts and decision making, is this an ego-based decision or it is truly a heartfelt decision based on integrity? There's an internal conflict that you go through that's just crazy. It's something I really never would have expected. But by being able to see this conflict play out through the you that is the watcher of this internal conflict between the ego and the higher consciousness is so powerful. Because the ego wants you to make every decision based on what is best for me, not for anybody else, only the good of self, in such a selfish way. And it's a pretty intense part of your reflective journey when you start to realize that your thoughts and actions in the past were ego-based because you wanted to get ahead or because you wanted to have or own this thing and it wasn't for the good of all. It's shocking. And it's when you start to take the wheel back and now your higher consciousness is in the driver's seat of your life. You start to question every intention for every decision that you make. I literally now will have a question in my mind about a decision. Did I do this or that? And my follow-up question, is this of the highest integrity and good for all? Because you have to be true to your soul. And if it's a self-serving decision that I'm making that's not better for anyone else because I just want this thing, that's an ego-based decision. And I truly have tried so hard in this transformation journey for myself. And once I started doing that and changing the shift to make decisions that are of the highest good, my vibrational energy just rose and rose to a level I could not have comprehended before. And when I'm living in a place of goodness and of love and of integrity and of the highest intention for everyone, for all of these wonderful vibrations and energies and gifts of things and of circumstances started flowing into my life. It is not an easy question to ask yourself because nobody wants to look at themselves in that way as a selfish person. But when you understand the karma and the implications that go along with making those decisions and instead choose the higher consciousness right thing to do morally, ethically, universally, it absolutely changes you. It changes the trajectory of your life. It changes the trajectory of your life's purpose and of meaning and of why you're here to help and to love and to share and to give all that you can for others, to raise yourself up as you raise them up as well. You start to realize things about yourself that you hadn't noticed before. And it is a sometimes painful and hard reality to take that look in the mirror. But once you do and you start to see the light that can be by giving up the I and the I own and the I need, and instead trying to share love to help others learn and grow and have a better life for themselves, it is the most rewarding, overwhelming, positive experience of love that you can ever imagine. And it can be yours forever. That is when your life really starts to transform and anything becomes possible for you.